Please note that this conference is being recorded. I will now turn the call over to Tosha Whitten-Griggs. Tosha, you may begin.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tosha Whitten-Griggs, SVP of Public Relations for TVOne, and I couldn't be more thrilled to join you this afternoon to introduce this exciting new show, The Game of Dating, and to give you an opportunity to speak directly with our host, Tony Rock, and executives from the network, D'Angela Proctor and Jubba Seyyid, as well as our producers from A. Smith & Company, Frank Sinton, the executive producer, and Brian Veskosky, the showrunner. So we're going to go right into it. I would love to have Jubba, if you will, just give us a brief overview of what we can expect with the Game of Dating and exactly what it is.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome. Really excited to talk about the Game of Dating, which is it's provocative. It's redefining the game and the dating show genre by combining both elements into this new format. And basically, what we're looking at with the Game of Dating is 3 teams of friends and family basically compete by watching real dates from the comfort of their home. And as the date progresses, these are real dates that we're seeing that we've taped. And as the show goes on, the dates will freeze. Questions are asked. As those questions are asked of our contestants, which we call watchers, they then gamble basically on learning who these daters are. They bet on whether they will answer a particular way from a multiple choice group of answers, and the team that earns the most money by the end of the game will win the grand prize of $10,000. And we're excited because the show is not only provocative and fun, but it's super funny as we listen and watch how the watchers react to what's happening in front of them on a date. And this was basically birthed from the idea whenever you've been out at a restaurant, at any place where people who are dating are, and you've looked at a couple and wondered what's going on in their lives. And this is the opportunity for those viewers to see and do that, an opportunity for our contestants to actually play along and earn money to do that, to basically guess what's going on that real date.
We have been so fortunate to be able to secure Tony Rock as our host. Tony Rock brings with him such an amazing comedic timing and chops and a skill set that really enhances the fun of this show. And so, Tony, I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of speak to why you got involved with the Game of Dating, and, what do you feel like viewers will enjoy when they tune into the show every week?
What I like about the show is that the first thing that jumps out to me was that we've all been on quite a few dates. Everybody's been on quite a few dates at this point in our lives. And to watch the dates right along with the watchers, because I didn't want to see the dates beforehand. So I'm literally watching the dates along with the watchers. I was pretty much playing the game while they were playing it. And to see how people perceive what's really going on between two daters. I can see a guy and a girl having a date and see something totally different than someone else would see. And that was the fun of it, was to play with the 3 teams, and the guys that are watching with the group of guys that are watching see something totally different in how the young lady's interacting with the man, as opposed to what the group of older women see when they watch the same exact date. And it's always fun to see how people perceive things based on, their dating history. So that was always, like, every date was just really weird to see. It was almost like a character study to see what people think they're seeing when we're all actually looking at the same thing. And that was appealing to me because it made every date different for me. It made every game different for me. And that was fun, that it wasn't just stagnant and we were watching the same thing over and over again. That's the one thing that appealed to me. Why I decided to get involved was because, the TVOne family, they realized that, my comedic abilities played perfectly to this. I think I'm one of the quickest comics in just making a joke up right there on the spot. And to watch a date and not know what's going to happen, to have no idea what's going to happen, what's going to be said or done, and to be able to make it funny right there on the spot kind of tested my skill set and was another thing that made it really, really enjoyable for me to do every day.
So now that we have a bit of an overview about what the show is, I'd love to hear from our producers.
This is Frank Sinton. I'll start first. I'm sitting here with Brian, so we'll take turns. But I think for me, and I don't want to be redundant on what Jubba and Tony have said, but for me what really jumped out is two things. One is how much fun it was to play along, and I think Tony touched on this. But we all do it, and what we found in testing this game before we even took it to the network was people really get sucked in, and we'll do a couple questions, and everybody's like, keep going, because it's really fun. And in crafting a game show, one of the key things is to be able to play along at home. Is the game fun to play? And from seeing the experience of watching the watchers play, watching Tony play, watching all of us play, it's a fun game to play because the truth is we do this all the time. We always watch people and we judge them, and first date, he's cheating on her, whatever it is, we all make our assumptions, and now we actually get to find out if we're right or wrong. So that was one. And the second thing in terms of it was, which we were setting out for this to be comedic. Obviously, that's why we hired Tony, and he was such a great addition to the show.
Hi, everyone. This is Brian Veskosky. I think from my vantage point, what I enjoyed most about producing this show for TVOne and A. Smith was I've done a lot of game shows in my time, from Deal or No Deal to Million Second Quiz, Don't Forget the Lyrics, you name it, but this show was very different. I had to first produce a dating show where we took people that applied to be on a dating show, females and guys, and paired them up and tried to find what was this girl really looking for in a man and see what would come out of that. And everything that you see on the show that all the watchers are watching along was authentic and real. Nothing was produced. That's one of the first questions, when you watch The Bachelor is a produced dating show, and that's not what this was. We set out to put real people on real dates, everyone from those awkward blind dates to couples that are just starting out in their relationships to even couples that have been dating upwards of 3 years. And so producing that show was a whole different sensibility than producing a game show where people were playing for money. And so the second aspect of this that was fun for me was finding those amazing watcher teams, the folks that, we had generational families, a mom playing with her son and daughter, and seeing how they interacted, where the son was admitting something that his mom had never heard he had done when he was dating or still is dating. We had seniors, like Tony mentioned earlier. We had our youngest contestant on the show, watcher, was a 22-year-old. Our oldest was a 91-year-old lady who was joined by her good friend who was 2 years younger, and then another gentleman who was in his 70s.
D'Angela, would you like comment on, how you feel like this fits into our programming lineup or what the, unique advantages are of offering this kind of programming?
Sure. I mean, it's no secret that competition is everywhere. I'm actually at a television conference right now in Miami at NATP, and just talking about the sheer volume of choices that viewers have, whether it be from cable to streaming to internet, all sorts of things, where people just have so many entertainment choices that whenever you have a new entry into something, it better have multiple layers, and it better be something that your audience can definitely relate to. We know that, through the rise of reality television, that people becoming voyeurs and looking into other people's lives and having an opinion about other people's lives from social media, those two things mixed together is what the game of dating brings you. And then you sprinkle that with the comedy offerings of the watchers as well as the comedic genius of Tony Rock, and it just makes sense.
Can we have the next question, please?
Hi, Tony. This question is for Tony Rock. This is Sheree Branch with Branching Out TV. Tell us about your experience working with TVOne on the game of dating.
It was a great experience. The TVOne team, they put me in a position to play to my strengths. So there wasn't a lot of, I was always told, put it this way, I was always told when you're filming and working in television, it's better to go too far and have them pull you back a little bit than to not go far enough and have them have to push you. So the TVOne family let me go as far as I possibly could, and if they had to reel me back, they did. But for the most part, they just let me do me.
May we have the next question?
I want to say before I ask my question how much I enjoyed the older watchers, man. They had me rolling. So I'm looking forward to watching more of them. I want to ask you, though, as when I was in college, dating shows were kind of coming out as a thing, Blind Date, Fifth Wheel, even Hell Date. That was hilarious. But they all kind of went away over time. I want to ask the producers, Tony Rock, what did y'all do to kind of safeguard this show's longevity, going forward? Because, I still miss shows like Hell Date, and I was like, man, I hate that they're gone. But the game of dating is hilarious, and I can't wait to watch it and share the experience with people. But, what about the show is going to keep it rolling beyond this first season anyway?
Oh, this is Deanne, so I can answer that. Content, the quality of the content is going to, sustain and maintain the audience. I think that television is cyclical. So, some things, there are waves of things that work, and then they go away for a time, and then they come back and they work, and then they go away for a time. That's just the nature of the business. So, we're hoping that the quality of this show will keep it on the air for years to come.
And no date's ever the same. You've never been on the same exact date in your life. Every date is different. Every interaction with another person is different. So that's going to be, there's no shortage of dates out there.
Well, with that, I do believe we are concluding our call. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll reiterate one last time, the game of dating, January 31st at 8 p.m.